In my studies of the martial arts, I started studying the martial arts since I was 9. We were very poor back then, so my mother would come home with these rice bags, and I would empty out the rice bags, and there was a dirt trail road behind our home, and I would fill up these sandbags. We had so many sandbags, and I would go into the wooded area behind the home, and I would tie a rope, and I would hoist this sandbag up the trees, where there's sandbags all around me, you see? And I'm sitting here, I'm standing here in the center, I'm looking at all these sandbags, and back then I would watch Bruce Lee. I would watch all these, and I would take in what I perceive was martial arts. Kicking, punching. But I was raised by the warriors. My uncle was special forces, my stepfather was. So I was taught the way of the gun, the way of the blade.
Here are the 3 combat lessons from Tulan, founder and CEO of Ronin Tactics, who has 23 years of experience in the Special Forces and combines that with his knowledge and teachings of the Bushido Code. Today's video was made possible at Mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now get the Memento Mori poster, which is a poster with tiny little squares for 80 years that represent your life. And it is a reminder that you will die. And as morbid as that sounds, that reminder is one of the best things to wake up to every single day, because you realize how precious time is. You can also get the Inspire Change hoodies and t-shirts with the link down below. Use code STOIC at checkout for 10% off the poster. Let's dive into the video.
What I realized was through my development of the martial arts and the philosophies of Taoism, for Bruce Lee's teachings, I developed my skills. And then when I went through the Special Forces, in '97 was when I saw special operations started taking a turn because of the fights that they started seeing win within UFC. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was one. Muay Thai was another one. Back in the beginning, when UFC started, you can clearly see the different forms and styles. Now it's very mixed. So the Special Forces, I could tell you, on the 18s, we adapted the Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, right? And then we practiced that. For years, I practiced. I stepped away from all other forms and learned the art of ground finding. It was so effective. So effective that Special Operations started learning these skills. The Rangers, the Navy SEALs, the Green Berets, And what we found was, we have weapons on our bodies. When we assault a house, when we put explosives on the door and we breach the door, we enter and we kill our enemies with speed and depth, there's weapons on us. Knives that we have on our equipment, guns that we have on our belly line. So when you move into these side-mounted positions, when you move into these guarded positions, position before submission, the blade, the weapon, was employed by the threat. With that comes my Special Forces career. So I started studying Jiu-Jitsu, and as a Special Forces Green Beret, I would travel to these foreign countries, And as a Green Beret, we would live with the indigenous people. So we would go and we would do jungle warfare training, and I'll come back. When I was in Indonesia, I'll come back to the camps and I'll train in the art of silat, right? This ancient art of trapping and parrying and moving off angles. When I was deployed to Zamboanga and Brazilian Islands in the Philippines, I would train in the art of Kali, sticks, blades, right? And when I was stationed in Japan, I would train in the art of Shudo, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, trap fighting. On the teens, we trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When I was a boy, I trained in the art of JKD. So what I'm saying was, my Budo was I drew from these forms and styles. I did fight in no-holds-barred matches when I was in Okinawa, Japan. So I was able to fight within this arena, this controlled environment. But when war happened, my mindset had to change. The movements in martial arts must be replicated with a gun. The hand and body must be replicated with a weapon. You see it in past warriors. You know, you see it in Shaolin monks when they practice the bow stick, when they practice the blade, when they practice all these things. It's mind-body connection. The way I snap a gun is the way I throw a jab. The way I throw a cross is the same way I drive my pistol. If I see this in my peripheral vision, then I'm able to register, I can drive to whatever that threat is. If I'm aware of my forms and styles, then I can create time and distance. If I take your distance, I take your time to react. You're always in the defensive. Bruce Lee talks about offensive movements. If you hit the opponent, think about boxing, you hit the opponent, he's always reacting. The only way that you can counter that is either you sidestep and he misses and you get your rhythm back. But Bruce Lee talks about intercepting fists, to hit at an opponent at an angular movement. So I was able to take all these martial arts and I implemented it into hand-to-hand combat. This was before war. And what I realized was it was natural flowing movements from the way of a gun to the way of a blade. When we went into Iraq, it was more of a close quarters war. And what I realized is that when you're at this distance, you have no time to react, right? Everything must be Budo, mind and body, Zen. You have to be so connected to the situation that when the situation changes, your mind and body reacts without thought. And you're just kind of observing the situation. See, when I first started that, the training that we endured in the Special Forces was very tactical training, very robotic, very moved. We had to interlock the kill zone, the fire. We had to go depth in a room. Surprise, speed, and violence. But the thing was, it wasn't fluid. It wasn't water. You know, you pour water into it, it forms to the environment, just like close quarters combat. When we enter a room, we must saturate the room like water. If we're able to come across, we interlock fires into the kill zone like water. So your movement and your gunfighting has to be what is natural. Musashi, the Book of Five Rings, said, your tactical stance is your everyday stance, and your everyday stance is your tactical stance. To be present in the moment, to train one's mind and bodies to the point of no thought. To be present, to train your mind to be present. That is Zen. So, I revisit all my tactics during the war, you know. I revisit the way I snap a gun, the way I move, the way I train, my agility. What martial art will give me this speed through the door? How fast can I snap this gun? What martial art, what athletic movement will allow me that speed I need to off-ramp a vehicle, to shoot when I'm running at speed, to understand my body so much that I understand my physical fitness and the heart rate that I need to be at to be able to make this shot or this shot. What is it? What is it to train one's mind to fight through this type of adrenaline?
Thank you so much to Tulam for inviting us out to Colorado to go see him and film these projects. We've just filmed some new content, so please hit the notification bell to be notified when that comes out. We also have a documentary coming out with Tulam, a feature documentary that will be on the main channel as well. So go subscribe to the main channel if you haven't already. Today's video was made possible with your support at Mulliganbrothers.com. That's what makes us be able to fly our film crew all around the world and film these projects. So thank you so much to everybody who's been supporting us at Mulliganbrothers.com with buying the Inspired Change t-shirts, the hoodies, becoming a channel member. But also, I just wanted to drop in there, the new Momentum Mori poster is also live on the page. It is a poster that has 80 years worth of tiny little squares, with each square representing a week of your life. You shade them in as a reminder that one day you will die. And as morbid as that sounds, it's one of the most motivational tools that I have used recently. I've been using it for the last year. I wake up every day realizing that I will die one day, and I live every day as if I did die tomorrow, would I be happy with what I did on the last day on earth? These are my intentions every single day. So if that sounds interesting to you, head to the link down below. Use code STOIC with the link in the description where you can get 10% off. Thank you so much to everybody who's supported us. I hope these lessons and guides and highlights are helping you in your everyday life as well. If you want to see more from us, head over to Instagram at Jordan Mulligan Brother, at Mulligan Brothers, to see what we get up to on a day-to-day basis and see more motivation. But thank you so much. Have a blessed and productive day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.